main stage. So we decided that we will go with 15 minutes later after Benny's first speech. But this doesn't mean that we cannot meet each other, right? So I'm going to be your host today, and I'll be all around having this mic with me, and we're going to have workshops. We expect you to ask questions, raise your hands, participate in discussions, and have fun, right? So, who wants to start? We have Martinho here. He's from X Money. Probably you know him. Hey, Martinho. How is it going?
Very good. You're putting me on the spot, right? It's better than the hackers, I suppose, because usually don't like to speak. But yeah, great to see all of you. Happy to see what you are going to be able to come up with within the next few days. And let's see if you need anything as well. Feel free to reach out to the people with the X Money T-shirts. But yeah.
Thank you. We have somebody from Ethium. Hello. I'm targeting you. Wait. So, how are you?
Good. I've come here to be able to hack in a bit of silence.
That's cool. Yeah, actually, we are going to start with 15 minutes later. Then,
Jokes aside, guys, if you need any help with anything or with anything ETM related or SDK related or help with whatever about hacking, just ping us. We'll be very happy to help you, obviously.
cool. Thank you very much. So we will be starting with a small presentation, and afterwards we are going to have a few workshops um, hosted by us and also by partners of ours. Tools, workshops, SDKs, APIs, everything. Um, let's have fun. Come in. Take a seat. Hello. So I just got informed that Benny finished his speech. So we are going to start in less than 5 minutes. Ooh, yeah, let's do it. I got a very interesting question from Ömji from Encode Club. She asked me, "Hey Mihai, how do you say in Romanian, let's do it?" Or something like, do we have somebody who knows? What's in the let's do it for Romania? Dai bice? Dai biceps? Do we have something better than pecai? No. Blană. Okay. Blană. We can do that. Yeah. Let's build. Let's build. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the innovation stage. I'm Mihai Șchiopu, engineering manager at MultiversX. And today and the days to come, I'm going to be your host. So if you have any question regarding the hackathon, conference, the venue, even Bucharest, even though we are from Sibiu, Bucharest is a very nice capital. Please don't hesitate, come and ask. About this stage, I would say that it's going to host technical keynotes, insightful panels, and we have quite a few, and interactive workshops, which means that we expect from you to participate in discussions, raise your hands, and in the end, everything is about sharing knowledge, sparking new ideas, driving our ecosystem forward, right? Now, today is also kickstarting our 24 hours finale event for the hackathon, the 30 days hackathon that started on the 21st of September. And as a heads up, we have more than 900 registrations. Woo! Yeah! With over 100 submitted products. Let's see which one will win, right? What I can say about the hackathon is that I was quite impressed with the energy and the skill set that our builders showcased. And I'm quite eager to see the outcome of their products. Following me is going to come our partners in co-organization and Code Club. And I will also want to thank you, our partners, without whose support nothing could have been done. They are going to draw a line about what is going to happen today and the days to come. Thank you very much, and let's have fun.
Buna, everyone. I hope I pronounced it right. So first, I'm Amji from Incode Cloud. Welcome to the hackathon room. This is gonna be war room like next few hours till tomorrow. Everyone gonna be hacking and building something amazing together. As Mihai said, like when main talk is over, some people are gonna be flowing in towards attend the workshop. So it'd be very nice if you can move to this side a little bit. So when new people come, they don't need to disturb your front seat, and then they can join us together. So let's take like a 2 minutes quickly while you're listening me. Like you can move to this side. That can be very, very nice. So gentlemen, let's move it together. Okay, so giving you a little bit more context. So like Incode Club is a Web3 education community. We met Alex and Miha in Denver like early this year talking about how can you make amazing hackathon together. So this hackathon journey started around 4 weeks ago, that there's like a lot of different pre-recorded workshop they could watch and come to the all different sessions to asking questions and learn different skill sets and making a team and building something together. So today is the time those hackers can come in person finishing their project, and they are going to submit their project like tomorrow. Of course, unfortunately, not every hackers can fly this time. So if someone is watching this live stream, so we have some hackers who are hacking around the world globally. Just not everyone could fly this time, but also they will be like finishing their submissions in the same deadline. What I want to say is like we have amazing 6 different tracks of like a ideation. All those like mentors were around, and also you here who are curious about all those workshops. Soon you will see many hackers coming in. Please talk to them, because a lot of them having a dream of making this project not only by hackathon project but going further and building something amazing and contributing to the ecosystem. There you can see our team member wearing this Inco t-shirts, like Rory, Clara, Yasin. So if you have any question regarding hackathon project, like submissions, or like a previous workshops you want to watch and you want to learn more, if you miss the opportunity this time to joining the hackathon, but if you want to build something further, please reach out to us. And we will be here today, tomorrow, like a Saturday. So if you have any questions around, like, okay, after this hackathon, what can I do? Oh, I'm not developer yet, but I want to build something with someone. What can I do? Any questions, we are very, very happy to answer. So join us. And now I was actually asking me how can I say let's go in Romanian. Apparently he told me Haide is the right one. Is it correct? Okay, so when I say 3, 2, 1, we're gonna all shout Haide and we're gonna start the day amazing. 3, 2, 1, Haide! Sounds good. But still, it's not too loud. So one more time, and then we're gonna start it. 3, 2, 1, hi there! Nice, everyone. Thank you very much. So
Thank you, MG. Very nice speech. So, the next in line for having a speech in front of our hackers, we have our main track partner, AI partner, Google Cloud. Ahmed, please join us.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? Yeah? All right. So thank you so much for having me. And I'll start with a quick introduction of who I am, and also, you know, being here is just such a pleasure between everyone across the next couple of days. So my name is Ahmed. I also go by AK, easier for everyone. I'm part of the Google Cloud team. We're super happy and excited to be here with you for the next couple of days. Come see us at the booth. We'll talk a lot of stuff around, the ecosystem, what's been happening in the past couple of years. We're very excited to be with you. We're very excited to what you're going to build as well, right? So developers are a core part and foundation of what we're building across technology. And it's with pride that, in the next coming couple of years, there's a lot that's going to be happening in this space. There's a lot of integration as well that's happening between in the Web3 industry and also what's happening with AI, right? There's a breakthrough in the technology, and it's time for you as builders to create and build the next innovation out there for the world. So I hope you enjoy your day. That was just a very quick one from me. So happy to be here, super excited, and I'll be around if you have any questions or if you wanted to discuss anything about the industry and what we're doing in the AI space. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the next couple of days and see you around. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for the talk. So, next in line, we have Ethium with infrastructure track. And from Ethium, we have Mark and Praveen. Thank you for joining. Please come on the stage.
Good morning, hackers. How's everyone doing? Good?
Bună ziua!
Awesome.
Good morning.
So guys, we'll keep it short and sweet. I just say guys and girls. So we'll keep it short and sweet. What you guys are doing is amazing. We can't wait to see what you guys produce. We can't wait to see at the judging day and on what the outcome is going to be, right? So you're on the home stretch. Got a couple more days to go. Keep pushing. When you guys feel like you're low energy, drink a whole bunch of coffee, pump yourselves up, and just push through the edge, okay? So our team is here, Ethium team's here. We're ready to support you. Our tech team guys will always be around. They can help you with Ethium stuff as well as MultiversX stuff, right? So feel free to ask them. And yeah, keep going and pushing and push to the edge, guys. So all the best. Praveen?
Yeah, thanks. Just a quick one again. Yeah, really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this hackathon, sponsoring this very important track. So love the energy, you know, from the very first time that we spoke online. We absolutely love the energy, and it's awesome to have you all here with us. So hopefully we'll have a bit more coming on as time goes on. Looking forward to the 24-hour sprints. So our team's going to be here. You know, the guys have brought their toothbrushes along. So yeah, they're going to be here all night. So by all means, we're here to guide you, help you in any way we can. And whatever you're building, you know, don't think it's something small. Whatever you're building something, right? And that's what drives all of us. That's what drives us as Ethium to keep building infrastructure for you to build on. So we're very excited. All the best. Look forward to the finals, and do come and listen to us on Saturday, because we're actually showcasing some builders who are actually building with Ethium right now. So you'll be inspired by what they're building. It's amazing stuff. So look forward to it. Thank you. All the best.
All the best, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, of course, the track which is coming is the DeFi track. And we had quite some activity this year in the DeFi space on MultiversX. And we have the main track sponsor, Entity. Wolfgang, you have the stage.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So thanks for the introduction. My name is Wolfgang. On behalf of the entire Entity team, I would like to extend a warm welcome to everybody joining us here at xDay Hackathon. As the official DeFi track sponsor, I would like to share a few remarks before we kick things off. Here at Entity, we are strong believers in the power of DeFi. While traditional finance world remains on shaky ground, everybody's aware of that, I think. That's why we're building this stuff here. It has become increasingly clear that we need a better path forward. Some of you may have listened to the keynote from Benny. He was touching that aspect as well. As investors look for safer and more transparent, more decentralized options to protect their hard-earned wealth, it is up to DeFi builders like yourself to help create a new system that works for everyone. We all must think outside the box and innovate in order to achieve these goals. And in my opinion, there is no better place to innovate right now than on the MultiversX blockchain. This powerful, accessible, and composable network has enormous potential. Adrian just talked about it. Sorry, but that was just a highlight for me. So you better watch the stream when you see this later on, because they have really crazy goals. So an enormous potential as the foundation for a wide range of truly revolutionary DeFi protocols. We have already seen a rising wave of growth over the past several months, and I expect the MultiversX DeFi ecosystem to reach a critical mass as we approach the next bull cycle. How will you fit in? What utility or new use case will you contribute to this exciting growth story? The power is yours, and the time is now. And at Entity, we are proud to support DeFi pioneers like yourselves. We offer expert mentorship, support in key business areas, and a potential Entity Launchpad slot for the winning DeFi track project. So please feel free to approach us, our team. We have a table over there. You can find us all over. We have cool t-shirts with our logo on. And maybe we can help you to reach your goals. So thank you very much, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you, Wolfgang, for your nice words. So the next track is the payments track. And I'm inviting Martinho to take the stage. Martinho from xMoney to say a few words. Hey, Martinho.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to speak for long. I've been at that point as well. I've been a hacker myself. And I'm just going to tell before a few things of xMoney. A fun story. I think as the day goes along, I'm expecting that you that are there in the back are going to start stealing the bean bags. Because I've been in previous hackathons where there was death matches over the bean bags. I think here you're safer. There's plenty more of them. And they end up being more comfortable as the hours go along. But in the beginning, you're more formal, posture correct. But then as the stress adds up, maybe the bean bags will help. So xMoney, I will not go into a lot of detail. We'll be on the main stage. I'll explain a lot more in terms of what's happening of xMoney. But at its core, it's a payment system that allows you to connect crypto and fiat. So there's basically any use case that you have, at some point, you probably want to become profitable, and xMoney can help you do that by allowing you to accept payments. So currently we have a very simple API to do that in terms of orders, and maybe we'll be able to add that into your current services and products. But again, excited to see what you're going to be able to come up with. If you have the time and interest, watch our presentation. That's going to happen in the afternoon. You don't need to do it now because you're stressed to finish your projects, but it will be recorded so you can watch in a few days as well. If you have any questions, people with xMoney t-shirts will be around. So feel free to talk to us. And you might even come up with new API ideas and things that we could do. So suggestions are also welcome. So excited to see what you come up with, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Martinho. Thank you. Very insightful speech. So, what's the next one? The next one is X Portal for mobile apps. Sergio, you have the stage. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Romania for a lot of you. I'm Sergio. I'm leading X Portal, and we will be sponsoring the mobile apps track. Super excited to be here. Super excited to see all of you here. It's going to be a full room, I think, and with everyone watching online as well. Just wanted to say that I'm super interested to see what you guys will be building. And I remember that I've also been in some hackathons myself, and I also remember that I've seen in the past that actually very valuable companies were formed from such an event. I remember a friend of mine, he was a student, started with a hackathon. He really didn't have an idea about what he was going to build. He met his co-founders at the hackathon, and then in like 2 or 3 years, it became a multi-million-dollar company. which I think was amazing. And I think for you, what's important, first and foremost, because you are the builders, and what's very important for you to remember is that even diamonds are created in the really harshest conditions, right? Uh, they're not in the most made in the easiest conditions because they would not be maybe valuable. So after they're created, somebody, when the times are good, buys them for maybe millions, right? So I think I'm very excited to see what types of diamonds you guys will build. And, you know, who knows? Maybe some $1 million companies will spawn out of here in the next few years. I can't wait to judge the applications. And of course, our colleagues are always available for your questions. We have the usual channels that we prepare for you. And, you know, get the excitement up. Let's go. Haide. Let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. Very insightful words. So, as you well know, we had two journeys, the future of technology and the metaverse and gaming journey with the metaverse and gaming track. Unfortunately, our partners from Tencent Cloud are going to join later, but definitely they are going to be here. So you will have the occasion to meet them a little bit later. They could have not joined for the starting speech. But come on, let's build. So this is the beginning. We will start with the workshops. If you have any questions, if you will start building, we are around. Please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone.
Perfect.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Rebecca Dragos. I'm a software engineer at MultiversX. And today we'll talk about how we can transition from Web 2 to Web 3. The digital world is ever-changing. Today, we'll talk about where we are now and where we are headed. As things change online, it's important to know what's happening and how I might change our future. There are good things and tough things ahead. Our chat today will help us see what might come next and how I can prepare for it. this isn't just about tech stuff, it's about how we live, how we work, and grow in a digital world. Let's learn together and think how we can make the online world better for everyone. Today, we live in a Web 2 world. And in this world, big companies control our online actions, like posting pictures, shopping, watching TV shows. These systems are easy to use, but they also limit us. Have you ever noticed getting the same kind of suggestion all the time? Please raise your hands if, yeah. That's because Web 2 decides for us. Web 2 is handy, but there's a catch. It often takes away from those who create content and give us fewer choices. Think about people that make videos, art, or start new businesses online. A lot of the time, they have to change their ideas to fit into what these big systems want. But unfortunately for us, the users, we often just go with what's given to us. So this is our current online world, connected, but with limits. As we look forward to Web3, we should remember where we are now, see what's holding us back, and dream of a more open and free online future. Knowing our starting point helps us figure it out where we want to go next. So, welcome to Web3, the next stage of our online world. Instead of just big companies guiding things, users like us have a say too. It's more than a tech upgrade. It's about making the online world more open for everyone. Web3 is a fresh approach. It's about giving each person more freedom. You get to shape your experiences and aren't limited to just what's suggested to you. With Web3, your online journey feels more personal. One thing about Web3 is how it's built. Thanks to the blockchain technology, everything is open and clear. You don't need a middleman. People can connect and share directly. With Web3, we all get to be more involved in our online adventures. So as we explore this new world, let's enjoy and make the most of the new possibilities Web3 brings. Okay, but jumping into Web3 is like stepping into a brand new world online. It's not just about fancy tech, it's about seeing the internet in a whole new way. When we talk about Web3, we are not just talking about new apps or websites. It's about changing how we see online sharing. It's about how we see and how we work together and trust. It's like imagining an internet where we all have a bigger say, where few big companies doesn't keep all the data, and where everyone gets a fair piece of the pie. But changes can be a bit confusing. Lots of experts scratching their heads, wondering how to learn the new stuff. Businesses are curious too, but don't know where to start. And many people are here about cool things in Web3, but feel it's too tricky. Let's start. Have you ever have any blocker about that? Have you feel it's too tricky? Please raise your hands. Yeah, a lot of hands. So many are asking, how do I start? Should they learn about blockchain first or explore things like smart contracts? And when they start, how do they know they are doing it right? It's not just about reading books or taking courses, because everything is so new and different. We need help. Even though Web3 feels like a big puzzle, with some help and direction, we can all figure it out. In short, Web3 is a new adventure. There might be some bumps and twists, but there's also a lot of cool stuff waiting. Starting might be a bit tough, but it's totally worth it. Entering Web3 feels like stepping into a big forest without a map. It's a fresh and exciting place, but without a clear direction, it's very easy to get lost. Today, there's so much to read and learn, but all this information can be confusing. There are plenty of helpful things there. Articles, videos, online chats. All of them want to help people understand what's Web3. So many people are trying to understand better the Web3. But sometimes having too much to pick from can be tricky. What we really need is a simple, step-by-step guide, something that shows the newcomers the basics first, and then the harder stuff. We need something steady, like a guiding light that points the way for those who want to learn. And as we get ready for all these Web3 changes, our job isn't just to find information, but to put it in order. We need something simple, and we have to make a clear path so everyone can learn and move ahead. The best way to start something new is make everybody knows where they're doing. So navigating from the old online world to the new one can feel like trying to understand a new language. We see the potential of Web3, but without help, it's very hard to grasp. We realize there's a big step between what we know now and where we want to go. So we thought, how can we make this change easier and enjoyable for everyone? Instead of just another online guide, we wanted something everyone could relate to. Whether you are new, know a bit, or a tech savvy, we want a solution that's easy and fun for all. Today, I'm excited to share a glimpse of our solution. It's not just a tool, it's like a helpful friend for your online journey. We named it MultiversX Pathfinder. Believe me, it's made for all of you, and sharing the move of Web3 is easy and fun. So, to deep into the details, I'd like to introduce Mihai. He'll talk about MultiversX Pathfinder.
Thank you, Dragos. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we prepared something for you. Hello again. And for those of you who have joined later, I'm Mihai Șchiopu, engineering manager at MultiversX. Do you know what I love most about my job? The fact that every day I have to engage with builders. The ones from our team, MultiversX team, and the ones from the community, you guys. Before joining MultiversX, I worked for a different company. And do you know what struck me? My previous colleagues, brilliant minds in their own way, were saying, blockchains, they are so complex. Blockchains, I don't understand them. Blockchains, they are not for me. I would say that instead of trying to understand the technology behind the term, they were actually afraid of just mentioning it. Well, we have two enemies here. On one hand, the misunderstanding, and on the other hand, the fear of the unknown. And now I have this interesting video in my head, and I would like to share it with you. Probably you all know him. It's about Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft. So he was hosting this keynote in front of a very big audience. I don't know, 1999 or something. And he was mentioning this 64,000 answer dollars, not USDC or anything. They did not have crypto back then, to a question. And the question was something like, how to bring .NET at the forefront of the industry. In making an analogy to us, I would say that we have a 2000 TGLD question answer for the question, and this is a question that I've seen on Agora as well. Please check it out. And lots of builders asked me before how to further grow the MultiversX ecosystem, given the big number of competitors we have on the market. Keep in mind those questions, because I'll revert back in a second. In the world, there are more than 28 million developers, with 1 million developer joining them each year. It looks like they somehow did it, right? The keyword here is developers, and also the answer to Steve Ballmer and how he was saying, developers, 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 right? An interesting fact about this is that less than 10% of them are publishing their code, right? That's why I would say that for us, this would translate in builders. So the 2000 TGLD answer is builders, 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 builders. We need builders. I have more than 10 years in the tech, and I've witnessed this gap between the present and the future. Every day, the technology is changing. Yet, we have millions of developers, as we have seen, globally, who are on the verge of missing the Web3 opportunity. Just imagine the potential we're missing here. In this gap, we saw an opportunity that we named Pathfinder, the path for developers to cross into the Web3 world. And now I would like to meet you. How many developers do we have in the room? Please raise your hands. Wow. Are you a developer? Are you a developer? You look like a developer. Yeah, but the second question is, how many builders do we have in the room? So 3 or 4 hands, 5 more. Well, this is a challenge I have for the developers, because it's quite evident that we have a quite big gap between them. What if there was a roadmap, a path, so to speak, that transformed your fear into courage? The courage to build and become a builder. Let's imagine Michael. We have cadet Michael, right? He's a Web 2 developer, scared like many of us. With Pathfinder, he doesn't just learn, he will earn badges. He will qualify for grants, he will earn value and trust. And slowly, he will become a Web3 builder. So, how does a path look like? Let's call it journey. And I'll try to make a line. I like layered infrastructures and layered architectures. That's why I'll picture this journey similar way. Everybody, before diving into blockchain, they have to start with the very fundamentals. That's why I would say that they have to start with the core, the infrastructure layer. They will have to understand what infrastructure means. We all know it's decentralized and protected by strong cryptography. But what next? For beginners, they would have to understand what's networking, what's a computer, what's a communication protocol, and afterwards, what's a node, a validator, observer, how to set up an observing squad, how to debug on a node. Well, with Pathfinder, you will finish the course, you will get a badge. That badge, it's your proof, and it will open doors to infrastructure grants and bounties. Now, if this is the core, I would go to the heart. Stepping up, we have protocol layer. It sounds like a fancy word, but actually this is the place where the entire magic is happening. Transactions get processed and they get stored for good, right? If you are targeting grants related to protocol, make sure you've earned the protocol badge. You can become a core developer probably. What does it mean to be a core developer in fact? You would have to know cryptography, mathematics, you have to be brilliant at programming, right? You would have to understand software architectures, algorithmics, and much more. We will prepare everything. We are going to post courses and tests, evaluations, tutorials, videos, everything. The more advanced, the better, right? Now, why would you need this badge, you may say? And this is an interesting fact. Sovereign chains are coming. More on this subject will be demonstrated by Rado Kish, our head of technology, and Robert Sasu, one of our core developers, on Saturday morning. So make sure you are going to be here. It's going to be awesome. What's next? What about people who wants to write on-chain apps, right? Or smart contracts, or how I like to call them, those programmed agreements, defining smart blockchains, because we are a smart blockchain, right? So we recommend Rust to write smart contracts because it's efficient and secure, right? But this does not mean that you cannot write smart contracts in other programming languages. Actually, you can write them in any compatible programming language with WASM that can be compiled to bytecode, right? But you know what? We've built tools. Some of them are going to be showcased today. We have quite a cool smart contract development framework, which is going to be presented by Andrei Marinica a little bit later. New tools are going to be premiered today. I won't go through all the other paths because you will have to find out by subscribing to Pathfinder, but I will say more about badges. You have to think about them as being your keys. They will unlock doors to advanced brands with higher rewards. They will provide you access to bigger bounties and even entries to exclusive events. Imagine, what if all DApp badge owners will meet in 2024 in Berlin at a MultiversX hosted event? How cool would it be, right? Yeah. Yeah, so each badge is more than just an achievement. It's a promise of an opportunity. I can tell you about myself that I've been on both sides, so both sides of the bridge, Web 2 and Web 3. And together with MultiversX, we are dedicated to helping everyone to get passed from one side to the other. Because beyond the courses, learning paths, grants, bounties, hackathons, we have to imagine this world where people like us will collaborate in hackathons, where we are going to host MultiversX builder houses, where we innovate and trying to push the ecosystem at the forefront of the Web3. Because this is the truth in the end. Trust isn't about the technology, but it's about the people behind the technology. So I hope this isn't just our vision. I hope this is a shared dream. And I hope this won't be a world where you'll stay as a spectator, but you'll become a pioneer. So, are you ready to start this path with us? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, we are going to talk also about how to have success with our products in the end. That's why next in line is going to be Alex Radu and Monica talking about this. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, welcome, and it's amazing to see this hackathon war room in action. is going to really transform into something like this over the night, with everybody in here, with full house, and it's simply amazing to be here and have this session. Monica?
Hello, everyone. It's actually a pleasure to see all of you, and super excited for xDay, for the hackathon, and also for people at home. Yeah, welcome to the xDay hackathon. And I'm also very enthusiastic to see you all here building and hacking. So builders, developers, enthusiasts, welcome also from our side.
Awesome. I just propose to split this conversation into one actionable for right now, the moment in which we are in the hackathon session with everybody in here coding, and how to have a successful submission, a few questions by the end from the public, and then to have some remarks for the next steps here at the hackathon and after the hackathon period.
Cool. Sounds great. So as you all know, we suggested as part of the submission for the hackathon for all the participants to prepare a video or a business plan. So I was curious, maybe you can explain why does it make sense for them to prepare a business plan or a video and or video?
Sure. So I think like the value proposition of this, it's simply a great exercise for the hackers, for all of these talented teams, because in the end, you are going to address this question of how you can showcase the product to the public, to the users, and how you can spotlight the value proposition of it, the use cases. And this is a great exercise to do this in front of the jury. And it's an intensive period right now. There are hundreds of projects and 1,000 hackers by now. And it's just the best way through which you can showcase this in front of the jury board. So having a video is just, it's a very short video of maximum 3 minutes in which you can showcase exactly like what's the value proposition, how the app works. You can do it more creatively, although this is like not mandatory to have the video or the business plan, but it's something very important to be made understood. And in regards to the business plan, it's something that helps a lot for the startups to also think about the next steps. What's the marketing plan, the strategy, the business strategy in the long term? And I think the jury board, just to give some tips, because this session is about helping you during this submission period, how do you make them understand what are the next steps of the project? And just emphasizing this, it's something very, very helpful for you in the submission to like create these two content pieces very well structured for the juries.
Cool. Yeah, as you said, it's not mandatory to have a business plan. Although I heard someone here today saying that they are making the last changes to the business plan. So just remind that that's another option for you to get extra points. And so, in my opinion, the business plan is more than the numbers, than milestones, the release planning. It's actually narrating your journey and making sure that the judges, but also everyone else that is involved into actually reviewing your application and later on seeing your project will understand what is your vision and how do you actually plan to make it reality.
Yeah. Speaking about this, how to make it reality, I think there are some really great things that we have set up for you guys here within xDay. As a very next step after the submission tomorrow by 12 p.m., we have set up some initiatives through which we can have you be part of them and get connected with other founders, startups, VCs, investors. So one of that one is the Hackathon VIP event, which will happen on Saturday between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. All hackers are invited. Everybody that has signed up for the hackathon will be able to get inside of that. It's going to happen here in the hackathon room, in the VIP room, and in the hallway. And we have a lot of brilliant startups, VCs showing up there. So an important part after like designing and creating these very strong products is how you can network with other companies, with other projects, make integrations, synergies, partnerships, and also onboard users, because these are important parts. And this is also like a very important component of the hackathon, to network and to get connected with all of the other participants and founders. And this Saturday, we are going to have this. It's very important to be there. I would strongly encourage you to be there. And yeah, a part of this, just if you have any suggestions, any introductions that you would like to have, you can ask anytime. These are just some business tips that we can recommend, and perhaps some marketing tips from Monica.
Yeah, I think as well, marketing is known as being a buzzword, but marketing is actually telling the story, is actually putting a voice on your project. And in this kind of situations, like the VIP event or in a hackathon setup, I think it's extremely important to include in the business plan some parts, some aspects about your marketing strategy and your marketing plan for the future, and also to show directly to investors, to your maybe next co-founder or VCs. And part of that marketing plan, I think it's very important to have, to mention marketing channels or user acquisition strategies, or things that actually tell the story about your vision and the solution that you want the entire world to see. And it's important as well that although you have goals and you have steps and everything in that plan, it's very important to remember that your product needs to be seen by the entire world, and this is done through marketing.
Indeed, indeed. Perhaps last note that I would like to strongly emphasize about the hackathon and the whole concept around the xDay hackathon. It has been a month-long hackathon. It has not been just an overnight coding session, but the whole goal around it, and we have seen this clearly in the community on Twitter with all of the great projects that have been announced. It is not just about doing MVPs, but about kickstarting stories, startups, and that's something that it's going to be the magic around the xDay hackathon for kickstarting new ventures. And this is also the reasoning behind the other business marketing aspects that are considered around the projects, not only the code, although the code, of course, is going to be the most important aspect of the hackathon. And perhaps as the last part, we should take, like the whole session here was about helping you getting some hints, and perhaps some LS component. Let's have some questions from the public and help the hackers. So if anybody has a question, just
also it's an easy one. It's not about breaking change that happens in the SDKs. It's about features that are completely missing or partially missing from the SDKs. For example, a few days ago, 1 week ago, someone asked, is there an easy way to validate addresses on MultiversX using the JavaScript library? And the answer is yes, of course, but it's not a one-liner. So what you could do if you want to achieve that, you can write a function of your own, is valid address, and implement how it should be right now. Use that throughout your code, and then when eventually the SDK comes with a feature that allows you to do that in a one-liner, you would only need to change your wrapper. I guess I'm saying the word wrapper quite a lot. Maybe it's annoying for some of you who are sitting on their phones. You should write wrappers. They will escape you from great damage. Here, we have another example that handles the network providers. Maybe you're accustomed to them if you've used the JavaScript or the Python libraries. And we have, say you did your homework. Now, you know, on this example, you already know that you should wrap the constructors of important components in functions of your own, and you use them throughout your code. But let's say that this happens. And this is just a pure thought experiment. We won't change that. Don't get angry yet. We won't change that. It's just an example. Say that we drop send transaction, the singular form of sending or broadcasting a transaction. And say we only keep send transactions, the plural form. Now, what would you do? What's the answer? That magic word. What's the magic word? It is to write a wrapper, right? So you write a wrapper. You create your custom network provider. And even if we may drop that send transaction, the singular form, you can still keep it. You can still have it in your code. And use it how you did before. Now, here we see how you would use that custom network provider, the one you've defined. And here in the example, you are using it through an interface for even better decoupling. And if we go before, we see this. This looks similar to which design pattern? If you are talking about wrappers, and if you see that, does it resemble a well-known pattern, a well-known design pattern? Is it what is it? It's a what? Right. This one. If you look it more closely, it will be a more specific one. You could also see this. I said it's an adapter. It's a wrapper. It's an adapter. And for example, this one, because adapters come in very many flavors. In this one, you would receive the custom net. You would receive in your custom network provider your adapter. You would receive the default network provider as a constructor parameter. This was the last example. And now the lesson is when you get a chance, when you get the time, and you should take the time, go throughout your code base, scan it, and look for places that depend on our libraries and also on other libraries which are third parties to you, because MultiversX libraries are third parties for your code. Scan your code and look for those parts and think of how could you make that pieces of code more changeable and more easily adjustable in case of changes. Now, let's see a very against about the SDKs. First, we assume that a good and sufficient version of the specs will be ready anytime soon. However, we still have to brainstorm some things such as contract ABIs and relayed transactions. And of course, during this and following this, there's also the effort of aligning all the libraries to the specs. A short note, for the SDK wallet, the specifications are already done. So if you are going and checking out the specs, you would see that. Now, of course, we also have to update the existing cookbooks. Any of you have gone through the cookbooks on our docs? Please raise your hands. That's not good. Not good enough. We have to, the cookbooks are ways to allow you to jump easily into the code. They are written for the TypeScript libraries and for the Python ones. Basic flows, basic use cases, they are covered in a pretty nice way. And of course, as we change the SDKs, we also have to change the cookbooks, and we also have to replicate them for other programming languages. We only have for 2 right now. The MXPy fans, again, raise your hands. V9 V9 is expected to happen anytime soon. I will let you know. Alex has prepared some very good features. For example, the Rust installation flow is much improved now. And also, the integration of the SC Meta tool to MXPy is now much better. And about SC Meta, which is part of the SDK, Rust SDK, you will hear from Andrei a bit later. That I would have loved to say that many of you have used the SDKs. However, I won't say that. I will only say that please go and check them out, check the docs out, check our GitHub out, and search for the MX SDKs. And also, if you feel like coding, some of you that feel like coding, please go on GitHub and hunt for issues that have the label help wanted. In the end, I'd like to say a thank you for everyone that's involved into coding, writing, designing the SDKs, reviewing them, especially reviewing them, whether they are part of the team or they are developers from the community. And a big thank to you that use the SDKs. And for the others, I'm not sure what are you using, what else are you using to talk to the network. I'm really interested. I will come down and I will see. I will ask you, each one of you in part. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrei. I really liked your joke, but you did not see you did not see Adrian's presentation because another one would have come in 1 second. Oh, yeah. So thank you very much, Andrei. Now let's prepare the stage for the man from the back end, Traian Angel. Please.
Hello. Yeah, thanks a lot for the intro. I tried to go on that side and come from this side, from the back end, but there's too many chairs out there, so I came to the front end. So yeah, today I will attempt to explain you a bit about how to scale your microservice, your platform. While also it is humbling to see your platform slow down due to usage, when it is grinding to a halt and you're giving a bad impression to the community about your product, things change a bit. The dApp needs to stay alive at all times. In this presentation, to first measure and then cut. Then we'll go a bit to the tooling side. We'll present Grafana and Locust as tools for enabling and looking at metrics and doing load testing. Then we'll look to some caching strategies. And at the end, we'll present a bit about how the microservice can be scaled using Kubernetes. Premature optimization, I don't know who said that, is the root of all evil. It's really good to optimize, to know exactly what you're optimizing. And in this way, you can also avoid a bit of over-engineering. So it's really, really important to measure what your user base is, what the load of your microservice is getting, on what endpoints, and so on. The key metrics of what to look if you're building a backend are the following. First of all, how many users do we expect to have during a launch or during a certain campaign where a lot of users might come. It's also really, really important to know what endpoints are being called by the users, because it might be that some endpoints are called often, some are not called at all. And also, what is the ratio of the called endpoints, so that we know exactly what endpoints to optimize. Once this information is known, we can implement some strategies to be able to handle this load. Really useful during the testing phase, but also for monitoring the health of the system, as well as getting insights with regards to endpoints that are slower than others, or if some underlying resources experience a slowdown as well. The SDK in SJS monitoring package offers multiple built-in components that export by default metrics used by Grafana. The important metrics that we have seen during the past few years that helped us scale our services are, first of all, monitoring API calls. But what's really important is to monitor not just how many requests you get on your microservice, but to break them down by endpoint, so that you know exactly how many API calls per second you get by endpoint. You know, that's how you know which of those are disproportionately more used than others. Also, really important is to get the average response time by endpoint, which gives you insight about the endpoints that are slower than others. Also, processing time by endpoint, which is basically the multiplication between those two. All the above metrics are computed automatically if the logging interceptor from the SDK in SJS monitoring library is used. What's also really important, to monitor the external systems. So what requests you perform to other third parties. And what's really, really important, to also break them down by host, so that you know exactly how many requests you perform to what domain, because some of those might become slower than others. So what's important, to look at the external API calls per second and average response time, also broken down by host. Last but not least, it's important to also look at the CPU metrics. And one important lesson for those that are building on Node.js is that although extremely performantly called endpoint has a much larger impact, it is really important when identifying performance bottlenecks to always sort by impact. As mentioned earlier, you always need to keep in mind that your dApp can grow really strong in a short period of time, and you need to be prepared for that. By applying some easy-to-implement best practices, you can ensure that your microservice is ready to scale anytime with little effort. Always think big. In order to serve as many requests as possible, the microservice should be horizontally scalable, meaning that there can be multiple instances that contain the same service deployment. When requests are directed through a load balancer, they can arrive at multiple microservice instances, even when triggered from the same user. As a consequence, the service should be stateless. No request should depend on another request. If the need arises to store common data in a horizontally scalable environment, a data store such as Redis should be used. You could find out that the same endpoint inside your microservice is called with exactly the same parameters a lot of times. One example would be the information that you see on the MultiversX Explorer on the main page. Every user reaching this page at the same time needs to see the same data. You can leverage an endpoint caching strategy to make sure you don't have to recompute in order to return the same information for a series of users requesting the data at roughly the same time. The caching interceptor of the SDK in SJS cache package offers two very useful functionalities. The first of them is the so-called request train. if the same GET request is performed multiple times by multiple users on the same instance, until the first request is resolved, the other ones do not trigger any processing, but they wait for the first one to fetch the response, and then they return the same response as well, thus not overloading the system. It's especially useful if an endpoint suddenly starts to experience a slowdown. It should also provide some level of help during denial of service or distributed denial of service attacks. The second functionality offered by the caching interceptor is round-time caching. The same response of a given GET request with the same path is returned during the next 3 seconds, thus making endpoints called very often much more responsive and protecting the underlying resource. It will also help during denial of service or distributed denial of service attacks. This leverages the specific use case inside MultiversX, where the data on the blockchain changes every 6 seconds. And the period of 3 seconds of caching is a good rule of thumb to return the same data. Inside the code of the microservice, there can be a value that is needed often, which might need some computationally intensive process or needs fetching from a remote API. A good example would be the price of EGLD, which might be needed in multiple places of the microservice. Instead of performing a call to the MultiversX API or maybe some other service provider, every time the price is needed, this information can be cached. Its TTL, or time to live, can vary depending on the accuracy of the data needed. It can be 1 to 10 minutes, but can also be specified to multiple hours if the data is mostly static. The SDK NSJS cache package contains a class called cache service that is a composite of 2 caching layers. The first one being in-memory and the second one being remote, Redis, or Redis-based. Inside the cache service, we have the get or set function, which performs the following steps automatically. It returns the value from the in-memory cache if available. This is the fastest cache and does not involve any networking. And the fetching time is in the region of microseconds, as much as a dictionary call is fast. Then, if it does not find it in the in-memory cache, it returns from the remote cache, if available. This is also fast, and the return value is also stored in the local cache to be able to resolve it later. And also, this is usually, as a response time, it gives the value back in 1 to 10 milliseconds. If it doesn't find it in the in-memory or in the remote cache, it executes the fetch function, then stores the value both in the remote cache and in the local cache with the given TTL, time to live, and then returns the value. And this enables microservice development to be able to fetch the data as quickly as possible and to maintain a high speed and scalability. Another idea of improving the scaling of microservices is called cache warming. This is the process of proactively pushing a value in the cache. It is used in situations where we want to always have a low latency when fetching a certain value that is cached using value caching. It is especially useful when the computation of the value takes a lot of time. And this, as a consequence, can bring the so-called request punishment. And this happens when a value that we store in the cache goes out of the cache, and then the computation for it might take a while. Let's assume that the computation of a value which we store in the cache takes 2 seconds. When the TTL of the given value expires, or the key itself expires, the first request which will need that value will be kind of punished with an extra 2 seconds of response time. If we know that this value will be used often, we can decide to proactively cache warm it. In the previous scenario, we could store the value with a time to live of 2 minutes and refresh it every 1 minute. In this way, our value never goes out of the cache, and no request is being punished. The rule of thumb here is to have the time to live at least twice the cron period, to give it enough time to compute the value and make it available. Sometimes in the execution part of an API call, a potentially lengthy but not critical process for the response time of the call itself might happen. In order to maintain a low response time, but also guarantee that associated but not time-critical processes are executed, we might implement a queuing system. For example, when a user submits a piece of information, we might send an email as a consequence of it. Maybe as part of the process of sending this email, we might use computation resources to generate an image or process a complex report as a PDF. We do not really have to wait for the actual sending of email to occur. We only need a certain guarantee that it will eventually happen. This is where an asynchronous queuing system might prove to be really helpful, which also helps us scale the APIs since it lowers the actual API response time and performs the action on another instance that eventually gets the job done. You can use, for example, RabbitMQ as a message broker, but there are others equally good and fit for different purposes, such as Apache Kafka or AVS's SQS. The important part here is that the guaranteed message delivery retry mechanism in case of failures, which can be configured to apply back-off techniques, and a specialized dead letter queue, where all messages that could not be handled are gathered as they can be retried on demand, such as when a bug fix is deployed to address an underlying issue and then resend those messages from the dead letter queue that could not have been processed. Using an infrastructure such as Kubernetes, you can implement a framework that is able to handle resources in an efficient way, giving you a lot of control over your microservice architecture and helping you scale your resource up or down, making sure you do not waste any resources. Before any important event that might use a lot of load, it is important to perform over-provisioning, meaning to always allocate more resources to be able to handle a sudden surge in requests towards a web service. Booting up extra instances might take a while, and if they are inserted in the environment before they are ready or have data inside their caches, they might also impact the platform negatively by slowing down the average response times. Dynamic scaling means that you can insert certain rules to add more machines to handle the load. A good rule of thumb is if the CPU load of an instance is greater than 50%, another instance should be added to the stack. Seamless deployment means that you can maintain the current stack of deployment active until a new stack is completely deployed, started, and verified that it is ready to accept requests. Only then can the requests be directed towards the new stack, while the old one is scaled down. Another interesting feature of this functionality is that you can easily roll back to the previous version if the new version behaves unexpectedly. This was the services. I hope.
Hooks. These VM hooks are actually are some functions or cryptographic now.